This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded June 9th, 2015. Episode 253. Zonked, Zelotic, Zaitech.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Chris Gamble's Analog... Oh. And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
Oh, love it. Well done. Contextual Electronics going down the toilet, is it?
So many things going on. Yeah.
You went old school, right?
Yeah.
Flashback 5 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't... Oh my God. I was mentioning to someone today how I haven't written on that blog in like forever. How I just kind of...
Oh, right. Yeah. Somebody... It's still up, is it? You still pay the...
here and there.
Yeah,
you know, like usually I notice when I'm like, I haven't been getting emails from that email address in a while, and I go check it, and it's like, no, that site's been down for a month.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't notice if my original website is down for a month.
I finally put some tracking on it, so now it's like it sends me a... Someone like sends me a note if it pings.
If it's down.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. How long has it been since you started Contextual Electronics?
It was May of 2013, so 2 years.
Wow.
And 530 videos. I looked at that the other day. I've made 530 videos.
That's more than me.
No, it's not.
That's more than me.
You made 700 something.
Well, no, but in 2 years.
Oh, yeah, but yours are higher quality. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mine are like,
granted.
Let's
press record and no editing.
Right. But that's we're building things,
number.
So that's the important thing. Building
absolutely.
is what I focus on. So
right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, man. I shouldn't be the one messing up here. You should be the one messing up here. You were yawning like you had never slept before. Because...
Oh, gee, you had to... Hang on.
Oh, there it goes.
I had to mention it. You triggered me again.
Halfway through the show, I'll just be like, yawning.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night. Yeah, I'm married with 2 children.
Two children! Dave has another baby! Yay. Congratulations. From the Amp Hour audience.
Thank you very much.
To the Jones family, welcome to Huxley.
Yes, Project Huxley.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
You guys going to stop it too?
No,
is this it? Or do you have any more?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's it, huh?
God.
Okay.
Yep.
So you say.
Right. Okay. You'll be next, my friend. You'll be next.
Yep.
You're under the thumb.
I have no doubt.
Yep. You know what the trigger is?
What's that?
When she starts like re-Facebooking baby photos and stuff like that, or maybe she's with a friend and they take a photo of her holding up a baby, and then that becomes her Facebook profile photo. That is the trigger to run for the hills. Okay.
Oh, I'm already there. Yeah,
right.
Right. We have a family member who just had a 1-month-old, and we've been taking care of her a little bit. So yeah, it's all over. All right. So, and not like it's a bad thing. Come on, it's just it's good.
There you go. The Amp Hour will end in 9 months, folks. It'll be. I'll have to find another co-host.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. What Dave really means is no one remind him that we have a show to record this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Why didn't anyone add any links to the subreddit? I don't get it.
Both forget about it, and it's like 3 weeks goes by, and what? Oh right. Oh yeah, that Amp Hour thing.
Maybe we could just sell the Amp Hour for, like, you want to sell the EEV blog. We could sell the Amp Hour, probably not for as much as you want to sell it for, but maybe like a couple billion instead of like 100 billion.
The EEV blog is for sale, by the way, folks. Yeah. Yep, genuinely up for sale.
Yep.
Just like Atmel and everyone else is up for sale at the moment. And
man.
Yes, I've set the price tentatively at $100 billion. So
that's fair.
Willing to negotiate.
No, that's a fair price. I mean. Or best offer.
I think so. Or best offer,
Oh.
Slightly used host.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just put it up on Craigslist. Oh, you guys don't have... Do you have Craigslist? You don't have Craigslist.
No, we don't. We don't. Oh, well, I think technically...
something similar.
No, I think technically we might, but I don't think anyone uses it. It's a very American thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
it's getting crazy out there. I was surprised when I saw you just posted this before the show, but Like Atmel, I mean, you'd think they'd be doing okay, but maybe it's just kind of strike while the iron's hot. And
well, it seems like their CEO is leaving. Like he's / retiring or something. He's been there like forever. I don't know the story behind it or who the hell it even is, but apparently they're retiring, and that's the trigger.
That seems like a silly trigger, though, unless he owns the whole company.
Oh, well, yeah, unless, he's got a lot of sway and just, maybe he's the one being holding back and, the others want to, the board and everyone else want to sell, have done for years since, the hostile takeover from onsemi and Microchip. So,
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, right. I mean, this is all happening. This is happening everywhere, right? But it's...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this was crazy, though. So they shared some of the numbers here, too. And, it's not like... This is like grocery store numbers, right? It's like...
grocery store numbers.
$1.4 billion in annual revenue, and their profit was $45 million.
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah, you're right.
Divided by 1,410.
What's that in percentage?
3%, yeah. So you'd have a better time running a grocery store.
Right. You get better margins.
Yeah, you get better margins running a grocery store.
you get better margins reselling Arduinos.
Yeah, maybe. Right.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just nuts, though.
Yeah, that's stupid, isn't it? I mean, that's just
Yeah, well, and
it isn't worth the effort, right? If that's your,
Well, maybe it's that, but I think it's just that. I think a lot of these companies are exploring scale, right? That's what a lot of them talk about.
Right.
Is that's kind of the only way to do it, right? So we saw maybe I don't remember if it was last week or since the last time we talked 2 weeks ago, but so Avago bought Broadcom, which is huge. Broadcom's the people don't know.
That was the biggest semiconductor deal in history.
Right. And Broadcom's the one who makes a lot of the mobile chips and also does what's on the Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. Avago is an optoelectronics and various other things maker. I didn't actually read much about that deal, but I'm guessing they probably leveraged up to their eyeballs.
Or they've got other players behind the scenes.
Yeah, you can still get cheap money
or something,
pretty cheap money to do this stuff.
Yeah, true.
And then Intel, they've always made a lot of money. They bought Altera, or they're buying Altera. So, and it's a lot of this stuff. It's like, running a fab is not cheap, and...
But Broadcom got bought for, what, 40 billion, 43 billion or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Whereas the Atmel's only up for sale at 4 billion. Bargain.
Yeah,
but with a 3% return, you're not even going to pay back your
it's
interest.
Just a scale thing, right? I mean, like there's a lot more people making... Not that Atmel doesn't make, they make more than 8-bit microcontroller stuff. They make a lot of stuff, actually, but... they're not making stuff for the mobile market, so they don't have as much volume, and volume kind of drives a lot of this stuff because you need to hit parity and stuff like that for your fabs if you're even running fabs, and if you're not running a fab, then you need to have enough sway because you're pushing enough volume through a TSMC or something like that.
Right. And I read something the other day. I can't remember where it was, but why companies buy companies? It's all to do with accounting. Right? Apparently, it's like it's not because they want to expand, blah blah blah. It's they have to get a better return on their money, and buying a company, it's from an accounting. I'm shit at accounting, but from accounting point of view, it doesn't go on the books as expenses for the company or something like that. It's so if you have the choice between buying a company or expanding your current company, it looks better on the books to the shareholders, are the ones that matter, of course, to actually buy a company that does to expand your current company.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's just the way the accounting is done.
Yeah.
It's the way they shuffle money around. That's it. It just looks better.
Well, there are times when there's
there are other reasons,
strategic stuff.
But I'm saying, yeah. But if you're looking for a way to improve your books, then buying a company is apparently a good way to do it.
Well, and that's a lot of the a lot of these are public companies too, right? So it's like, this looks very positive for shareholders and things like that as well.
The share price usually goes up on both companies when an announcement's made.
Sure. Yeah. So I do maintain so the Intel buying Altera, I think that's actually probably more interesting to me, other than, I guess Avago is kind of interesting as well, just because, who really knows about it? I mean, Avago is huge, but it's, it's more, it's because it borders on like the telecom space, so it's kind of outside
specialized stuff, where most of us general electronics engineers aren't that familiar with.
Right. And but the Intel Altera stuff is interesting just because, thinking about what could happen. I saw some people talking about, well, it could be because it's Intel trying to hold off the ARM market as well in the server space, things like that. That's interesting.
That's more of a strategic play.
Could be
Intel Altera one, I think.
I mean, but I think I'm interested just because Intel has the process technology and they have this, strong processors. But then, adding flexible stuff in there makes it very interesting.
Well, they're already making chips for Altera, so it kind of,
Right.
Yeah.
And it does go along with my theory, which I still maintain, that Intel will split off into a fabless and a foundry. I think that'll still happen, especially if they keep getting bigger. I think it's the only option to, again, with the accounting stuff. So
who will get the name? A la Hewlett-Packard, a la Agilent.
I think the fabless company would get the name because that would be the one that still goes on the chips, and even if I think that the other one would become like maybe Intel Services or something like that, but.
Right.
Intel is free to hire me in the future if they need help naming their new company. Same with HP if they ever get their heads out of their asses and give the name back to the rightful owners, which is the measurement groups.
Right. I think we're a couple of company name changes too late there.
I think we are too. Yeah, that fight has already been won.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I was looking at this article. So, I heard you mention the onsemi and the microchip thing. I didn't realize that that seems like launched a hostile bid for the company.
That was a hostile takeover bid, yeah, and they withdrew. I don't think Atmel weren't playing ball, so that didn't help.
That's why it's hostile,
that's why it's hostile, yeah. But, yeah, I don't think it's, I think onsemi and microchip actually pulled out rather than fight to the death and just buy all the shares and actually do the hostile thing, go through with the whole hostile play.
I could see onsemi doing it, but not microchip. I mean, microchip and Atmel are kind of pretty much in the same space, so...
it doesn't seem to...
Wouldn't really be complementary.
No.
So, whatever. Big companies doing big things. It's not going to affect us too much. The only thing it'll do is if it reduces the amount of parts that we can buy, right? Honestly.
Right, yeah.
And if support, if they're able to rest on their laurels because there's less players, kind of like what the airline is, like that's probably the only one I could think of for, in terms of competitions going down. So it's like, there's just there's fewer flights offered, right? Or, that's what it comes down to. There's less competition, there's less churn in the marketplace. So that's the only way I see that people like you and me fail. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people are making
the way
ARM
we
chips and anything ways. So,
but the only way we get burned is if we've built that chip into our bomb and it gets discontinued. So
right, yep.
It's the ultimate fear.
Yeah, well, it's very real. I mean, especially because chips these days it's not like you're designing in standard SOIC package and then it's like, oh well, I can just swap it out with someone's compatible part. It's like, no, sorry. This is a custom pinout. This is a custom, even
you
if
usually have to respin your board.
Right, or even worse, if it's like, even if you say it's an ARM.
Your tool chain has to change.
Exactly. If it's ARM, you might still have to, change your debugger, your tool chain, your compiler, that kind of stuff. So it can get messy. But that's totally. But also that can provide some of the interesting challenges, right? So some of the fun challenges I've had in the past have been replacing parts. You still have to spin a board, but maybe then you go drop an FPGA in there because you have to try and replicate the former ASIC. That's what I've had to do in the past, or drop in new, evaluate new processors. Matching old code isn't necessarily the most fun thing, but it can be an interesting challenge at least because you're very, we've talked about boundary conditions before, and that makes for great engineering problems when you have boundary conditions and working to to what an older product does. It's like that is definitely a boundary condition.
Right.
So
can we actually talk about changing electronics? I just did a video.
Which one?
This morning. It hasn't been released yet. It's currently rendering in the background. It's like 90% finished. And I did a retro teardown of the original Sony Walkman.
Oh, I saw your...
This is the mailbag was on the mailbag, the TPS L2.
You talked about that thing for a while when you got that too. You could tell you were excited about that thing.
Oh, yeah. So, because I've been meaning to get one. I've had one on my eBay watch list, trying to get it, but they're like popular and they're a bit pricey,
Why are they popular? So, hipsters are buying these and like wearing them around town?
Well, apparently, no, it was in some sci-fi movie I've never heard of, and everyone's going, "Oh, that's the Sony Walkman that was used in this movie," blah blah blah, and it's like that's why the prices are skyrocketing. I'm going, bloody never heard of this sci-fi movie. So anyway, apparently, some sci-fi creature used one as a communicate. I don't know.
Nerds.
Oh man, no, they're geeks, not nerds.
Oh right, sure, whatever.
Right, yeah. Let's go
I
there.
think of movies, I don't think of the Walkman. What was the one that was in Home Alone? The Talk Boy, was that what it was? Do you remember that thing?
No, I don't remember any gadget from Home Alone.
It had like it was in the second one. Like it had like a microphone coming off of it. You could record into it directly. And
no, anyways. The only one I can like. Movie that rings a bell is like the Speak and Spell from ET.
Speak and Spell, right, of course.
Right. Yeah. Yep. No, sorry, completely wasted.
Anyways, so you're saying that older electronics are different because?
Well, no. It's just like circuit changes. There was an interesting, like I got the service manual for this thing, right? And it's all discrete through hole, right?
And it has a service manual. And
it has a real service manual. Thank you very much. With exploded views of and every part is itemized, and even the screws and everything. And it's got exploded transparent wiring diagrams of how it all goes together and how all the tape mechanism works. And
right, wow,
thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Anyway, in there, it's interesting that they've got two different versions of the schematic. Like, if it's less than like 100,000 serial number, which my one was, mine was like 65,000, it didn't have a front-end preamp on it.
Oh, interesting.
Yet if, like after a serial number 106,000 or something, they added this discrete transistor front-end to it. And it was, I can give you the part numbers because I've got it right here, folks. It's all to hand. Hang on.
Okay.
I will if I pulling up my things properly.
Yeah.
No, hang on.
I actually used to have so one of my old analog pianos is the same way. I mean, it was like there was different models, and the older model didn't have the preamp either. So must have just been a replacement or
here it is. It used a TS. They bunged in a 2SC 2458, and I looked up the data sheet for this transistor, and it's for low noise audio amplifier application. So this was coming directly from the head, right, from the tape head, right. So obviously they must have had like some, they discovered the first 100,000 a little bit noisy,
feedback. And,
so let's
from the users,
whatever. So let's just whack in an extra transistor on the front end there before it gets to the ASIC, in quote marks. Well, I guess it is an ASIC. It's probably just got like 12 transistors in it. It's one of those single inline packages. You remember those?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
You're too young.
I've seen those.
Right? Yeah, those single inline IC, custom ICs. And they have like, dozens of transistors. Dozens, not... not thousands, dozens, right?
They etched it by dripping acid onto the board and so the substrate and stuff like that.
Well, who the hell knows the PCT process? Anyway, let's not go there.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just interesting changes like that between different models, and now we've got to worry about our micro is going to be discontinued. Back then it's like let's just respin our board, let's optimize our noise and all that sort
it's not
of
like
jazz.
anything's changed here. I mean, that still happens, but it's just
it still happens. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
but I just found it rather interesting how they changed their complete topology, and they went away from using an emitter follower on the output of the buffer amp. Anyway, you have to watch my video.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
See this, and
I would be actually really interested too to hear about. I mean, this might be tough to find, but like just about the teams that are doing that stuff, right? I mean, because
yeah.
I don't know about your companies, but the companies I've worked at, they just kept while I was working in regular engineering companies, it was like they just kept getting smaller. The teams smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's another trend that I keep seeing. It's like. So that Walkman might have had 30 people on it or 20 people on it,
right? But then the next revision, it's down to 5 or something because I've found it's a common company trait. If somebody leaves, they usually don't replace them.
Oh,
because engineers will take up the slack and they'll just go, oh, yeah, we still, like, management still see that their Gantt chart is progressing or whatever, and then they go, well, why do we need to hire someone to replace them? The rest seem to be taking up slack because engineers are good at that.
Yeah.
Right? Engineers just naturally sort of, fill in the holes anywhere they can.
I agree with that, but I think that in the time that the Walkmans were being made, I think that engineering, especially engineering in Japan, was still really strong. You know what I mean? Like, it was still a big...
Oh, yeah, they were number one.
Right. So...
What are you talking about, Doc? All the best stuff's made in Japan.
Right.
Right? It's like, Japan were the dominant makers in the 1980s,
right. Yeah, so I don't know if that would
Marty wasn't lying. All the best stuff was made there.
Right, yeah.
So, it was, but you look at it and you go, well, it's not kind of the best stuff. It's built down to a price and, it's all like hand wired and everything else, there's not but hey, they got it down to a small size and they made it for a reasonable price and it worked.
They sold a crap load of them.
I know, like
for a lot of money.
Million,
how much did those things retail for back in the day?
$150, which is about $488.
So that's like an iPhone, basically. Like,
It's basically like an iPhone, yeah. But you can play your compact cassettes on it. Right. Yeah, that's it. And you couldn't even record.
Right.
There was none of this recording rubbish. It was just playback.
Yeah, man.
And everyone said it would fail, because it doesn't have a record function.
Right.
So, but yeah, because there wasn't much pre-recorded material. But once, it was a chicken and egg kind of thing. But once the Walkman was out, it was like, all the record companies jumped on record companies.
Remember those?
Jumped on board. Yeah, right. Well, they still call them that, don't they?
Yeah, the ones that still exist.
Even they progressed from records to compact cassette, which still dominated by even 1990. Cassette was still the dominant platform.
Yeah, until
right. Even
CDs.
though CDs had been around since like 82 or 84 or something, CDs were still not the dominant platform.
Yeah, because the price wasn't down on it. It's always price, right?
And they were physically large. So, Sony had the Discman by then, the Disc Walkman. Right, but it was just bigger, right? The cassette was just more compact, and I think it probably used less power or something.
Right.
And yeah, right. It just, and it could play all your old tapes, because there were no CD burners back then, right? So it's not like you had to rebuy everything. So, the cassette was still dominating.
Right. And then you
even
could
into the early 90s.
Magazines on a cassette tape and through a program. And
audiobooks and
No, Dave, no, not audiobooks, magazines. And that is why we all owe that douchebag a bunch of money, according to him, because he's a friggin' patent troll, saying that he invented podcasts in the late 80s by putting magazines on cassette tapes. Screw you, buddy. We don't owe you anything.
Kiss our ass. Yeah.
We don't make any money anyways. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Sue us. Yeah.
We win.
We win by financial attrition. Oh, man.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
Anyway, like these, it's just fascinating looking through these old retro devices and how they're
Did you do any power stuff with it or no? Did you do any power measuring on that? Like on how fast?
No, I didn't.
Okay. That would be interesting. I mean,
no. What? How fast it runs through the batteries?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Dude, it's specified in the user manual for alkalines, which were, alkalines were mega expensive back in back in 1979. Holy crap, to buy an alkaline. You got 8 hours. You got 8 hours use. That's a lot of playback.
Is it? That's the thing. Like, by these days, I don't have any. All I remember is that my Game Boys used to die after like 2 hours.
Your smartphone barely gets 8 hours.
Yeah, but
a modern smartphone,
right,
barely gets a day's use. Let alone playing MP3s or playback video or whatever.
I'll give you video. Audio's not too bad, but okay.
Yeah, I know. But right. Anyway, but still, it's not too different to a smartphone. But hey, if you whack, if you whacked heavy duty, the ever ready 12, 15 heavy duties in there, right? And these weren't alkaline; these were, the zinc carbon heavy duty ones. You'd get 3.5. Or if you whack the really shit, no name,
right,
or cheapos in there, you get 2.5.
So alkaline was the good. That's the thing. I don't know the old battery not old, but I don't know battery technologies either. So
alkaline is like the standard one these days.
Yeah,
like nobody
right.
uses zinc carbon anymore.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, you can buy them, but like
Right.
alkalines
Special.
are so cheap that nobody bothers.
Right.
Yep.
That's interesting.
So.
Yeah. Well, what about this other thing? So you had another video about the battery booster thingy. Did you find this on the subreddit? Was that where you found it, or was it other places?
No, I got inundated with tweets and emails.
Yeah.
People. Yeah, no, I found out. I didn't even know it was on the subreddit. I don't think at the time. And yeah, people had done that. Oh, hang on. 1 second. My video has stopped rendering.
Okay.
My video is finished, so I'll just... this will be an interesting live test here, folks. Live test to see if using all 12 cores on my dual Xeon machine actually kills our podcast. Shall we risk it?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's been killed for dumber reasons before, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. So here it is. If you want to know, it's 4 gig worth, 4 gig file size for 27 minutes. That's not rendered raw, by the way. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to drop it into my handbrake, and it's rendering. Do I sound the same?
You sound whiny and Australian. Is that what we're going for?
Right. Well,
all right.
that's normal.
All right,
yeah,
we got
and
it.
There we go. I'm
cool.
using all 12 cores at like 95% or something.
That's nuts.
So these newfangled machines,
Yeah, man.
Go figure. And handbrake's rendering at 100 frames per second.
Thank you, Intel. Soon to be
120.
Enhanced by Altera, right?
Altera technology, yeah.
Man, it's
Altera inside.
right. Yeah. Man, that's the thing. Like, it's so commonplace, right? It's just like it's so commonplace that we were like, oh yeah, 12 cores, no big deal. I mean, I granted it's not actually 12 cores; it's probably hyper-threaded and all that other stuff. But like all this stuff, like it's just so common. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, but it's new to me. Like I grew up, machines. Like for probably the majority of my life, processors have been single core. There was no such thing as a dual core processor.
Right.
Right. It just didn't exist, or it's some weird ass niche application somewhere.
Right. Yeah, like the military or satellite or something. Right.
Yeah, or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I just mean like all this stuff. Like it just eventually over time, oh, dual core. Yeah. Oh, it's only dual core now. Oh, it's only quad core, right?
Right.
Dave has 12 core, right? But I mean, like even like this. So like the robot stuff that we've been seeing. I don't know if you watched any of the. Did you watch the DARPA robotics thing?
No.
So
I haven't watched it.
It's still really kind of quirky. So first off, I don't know the history of the specific challenge. I've seen some of these robots before because one of them was built by like Boston Dynamics, the Atlas robot. Right. That's the one that has like it has a battery pack it like looks like a backpack now, which is full of batteries.
I'm watching one try and walk through a door, walking out of a door or through a door.
Oh yeah,
it's like a biped.
Yeah, so they all are. And basically, the idea behind the contest was it had to like navigate, so all without any any controller input. Basically, it had to recognize a door, it had to walk through a door, it had to open like a water valve, it had to take a saw, it had to saw through a drywall, it had to walk over uneven ground. Like really, really difficult robotics things when you really think about it.
And you couldn't like go there beforehand and then pre-program it to recognize the environment.
They had some promptings on what the challenges would be, but no specifics on what it would. There was one special thing. I don't remember what there was like a surprise thing. So yeah, but like the thing about it is like, like seeing these things walk now, right? Just the fact that they're completely autonomous robots walking, and they're they're humanoid-esque, right? Yeah. And it's just like it's not normal, but at some point it's going to be. You know what I mean? And it's like, and the crazy thing about it is that when you really look at it, it's like the mechanics are almost all there. It's software stuff. Like we're into the realm where it's like, okay, now we start optimizing software, and like I understand that reverse kinematics are really, really difficult, and that's a lot of that stuff.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the video and I'm going, this thing is the slowest robot I've ever seen in my life.
Right, but you've seen robots that are attached to computers with people monitoring it, with tethers, like with known tasks, right? This is real world stuff here, and that's what's crazy about it. And it's like eventually this is going to be the acceleration point, right? Now there's robots in the space, and it's just okay. We can just keep throwing vision experts at it and control systems experts at it and all these other things, and better operating systems, better feedback, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be normal. And it's like, and then they're going to start saving people. And then I won't say what hopefully doesn't come after that, but and it's just nuts. Also, it's really fun. I'm going to send you a link, Dave, and I'll of course post a link for everyone. While we can do so, I highly encourage everyone to watch the video where you can watch a compilation of them just falling over.
I was about to say that if there was a robot uprising, I'd simply run around and sweep the feet out of every one of them.
Sweep the leg, sweep the leg.
Yeah, sweep the leg. Yeah. Yes, Sensei.
Yeah, right. And oh my god, it's so much fun to watch these two. They got like this, they've got
robot fails. Just one leg goes up there.
Right. And it just it looks like my friend sent me this video, and he's like on the bright. What did he say? He said my favorite is the second one. Apparently, robots are just like humans after a night of drinking, and that's kind of what it looks like. But it does. Humans don't get to upgrade software and then become undrunk, right? That's so it's.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just a weird time to be alive, man.
One of it, you said how it tried to turn the valve. There was one of them thought he was about his robot hand comes out. He thought he was turning the valve, and he was 2 feet away from the valve. So he just turned it, and then just fell over because he wasn't holding onto the valve,
right?
Wheel,
right? But these are the things that are tough. Oh, God, I just saw that one too.
Oh, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to look at. It's
it's fun to watch though. But think about. There's so many complex systems here, right? I mean, just the walking and the balancing alone is so tough. Oh, they have to drive a car too.
Why are they so slow? Is there such I thought processor technology was so bleeding edge and generic these days that they'd be super quick at this. And if they fail, well, they fail. But why do they have to take 30 seconds to decide to move their foot one step?
They're deliberate. I mean, and they're scanning. They don't have as much.
Yeah, but
so there's no.
Yeah, but.
Okay, here's another thing.
We have 20 zillion core bloody Intel processors.
Sure, but
these things don't have to run off the smell of an oily rag. They've got 1,000 watt hours of battery in them. Probably.
I think you're.
So what?
I think you're looking at the wrong problems here, though. I think.
Well,
so here's an example, right? So we've marveled before, those videos of quadcopters that are in formation, and then they do all those fancy tricks and all that other stuff. Well, the thing that some people didn't realize about that is that they have external vision, right? You have a third perspective,
right?
And now a robot only has a single, it can have dual cameras or whatever,
right? Yeah,
but then it has to interpolate, and just even taking on the humanoid form is that's constraining it pretty heavily. You expect that the eyes are going to be on the head portion, right? It's that's not necessarily how a robot would do it, but that's what everybody's doing. Yeah. So I don't know.
Humans have such finesse. We really,
we've had a lot of software revisions over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't beat Darwin.
I suppose. The runner-up for Dave's the son's name, probably.
Engineer of the Year, Charles Darwin. Yeah. Engineer of the Year.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, that's funny video.
It's funny to watch, but it's interesting. I mean, and I'm really glad that it's also that there's focus on it, that people are watching it. All these things are good.
Can we go to the bottom end of the processing scale?
Sure.
Which is the $9 chip computer. Apparently someone else is going to beat that, or they've come out with a competing one.
For the $9 computer? No. No.
Yes.
Where? I don't see what you're talking about. Olamex? Is that what you're talking about?
Olamex, they're the ones.
No. So Olamex wrote about basically how this is unrealistic. And basically, so Olamex is a hardware maker.
Yep.
And basically they wrote...
But they make cheap boards and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And so basically they went out and they got quotes and they were talking to everyone and basically saying... there's zero chance that this is actually possible. And then they quoted an email, and we have to take the email,
right.
At the word, but they said that the chip company that's selling them, Allwinner is the chip maker, saying that the board is actually going to be $39 after the fact.
Wow.
Will that or won't that be the case? I don't know. That's what they heard from, that's what OLMX wrote. That's what they heard from the people. That's what they said. OLMX wrote about it. But yeah.
Well, that's this summary at the end. So they're saying, sorry guys to break your dreams, but a 1 gigahertz system on chip that costs $1 is just not possible. Maybe in the future, but yeah. At the moment, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So.
Right, and someone had commented in our comment section. We brought this up 2 weeks ago too. It's like I had said that there's a $9 computer, and they rightfully point out it's not actually it's not a thing yet, right? It doesn't exist in the marketplace. It's still a
and they haven't and they haven't proved that they actually make a profit. Like I can go out and sell a $1 computer tomorrow, right? I can make the world headlines selling a $1 computer, but if I don't tell anyone I'm not making any money from it, I'm a genius, right?
Right.
Because I'm manufacturing a $1 computer.
Right.
Right, but I could do it. I just have to lose money on it,
right,
and not tell anyone.
Well, and I think on all this stuff, it's always about it's about trying to get a big enough base of people that are interested in it. And I think increasingly, as chip costs continue to drop, and more boards come out, then it has become even more difficult thing. I think the Raspberry Pi also has the education piece around it as well. So there's interesting things there. They obviously started with, that was the banner headline to start with, is the $35 computer, and that's what a lot of people focused on. But then they turn around and said, look, this is actually about education too, which is, and then there was the Broadcom special pricing for those parts. So, chips are still expensive, right? It's not like these
totally.
These little pieces of silicon are not free, and so
that's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm going through that right now, optimizing a product for hopeful production, product that I'm working on behind the scenes, and it's like chips cost money. You want that feature in your product? Well, that's going to cost you, $5 for that chip.
Right.
There's just no way around it.
Right. Yeah, that can be really frustrating too. I remember one of my former coworkers did this really nice, you could select, basically, I think it was for talking in the marketing group, because it's like, well, we need it to be cheaper. Okay, what do you want to remove? Well, we don't want to remove anything. And so eventually he gets so frustrated. He made a spreadsheet where he's like, basically, here's the breakout of each cost. You could just go and pick which one you want, and we can set it up, and then you're going to know the exact price based on all of the quotes we've gotten and reality. And then at the end, there was a price at the bottom, and it's like, can you live with that or not? No. Okay, go back and remove another feature, right? And that is actually really smart. That's a way that you can have a conversation about that, because people just banging their fist on the table and saying, no, it has to be cheaper with all the same features. It's like, with trade-offs. Hello, trade-offs. So it's
nobody's listening,
right? It's a tough thing, and it's even tougher, I think, when you being you, Dave. You know that, right? You're on both sides there, where you're just trying to get as much out of it as you can. I think the way to a lot of people do that these days is basically you reduce your chip count and try and get more and more into a single chip, right? So if you can get everything onto a single micro with an ADC and a SPI port and all the stuff you need on a single micro, you start to really reduce your costs. And
well, you just look at every aspect of the design. You might go, well, might be able to save $1 by changing the case, or changing some other aspect of the design that makes it more cleverer. More cleverer.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Evolving the English language here on the
That's right. Yeah, not just in our titles either. Which I do make up words sometimes. And it's tough. Goodness. I mean, you have to do that, and in a best case scenario, if it depends, I guess. If you're trying to differentiate yourself in a marketplace, sometimes you get stuff for free, where it's like, okay, well, I chose this chipset because it was cheap, and by the way, it also happens to have X, and now that's in there. But that's not. I don't think that's common. Maybe it is.
Right.
But I think that my experience has been with analog stuff. Especially that, because every time you have, if you have 3 packages on a board versus an integrated chip, usually the 3 packages at the same spec as a single integrated chip. like these new analog front end chips that I've talked about in the past.
Yep, that's right.
They're just cheaper because the cost is consolidated onto the silicon, and it makes for boringer designs, right? But also better costs. So,
and sometimes you've got to look at your assumptions, because the product I'm working on at the moment, I actually thought about it, and I asked as well some people, and I'm going, like I needed this, $5 chip or whatever it is, right? Well, I thought I did, right? And you just look at your assumptions. Well, do I actually need I can still get the functionality, but this chip gives higher performance, right? So do I actually need that higher performance?
Right. And that's a question of, are they willing to pay for it, right? Or is the
well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And can I trade this off, right? Because it's going to be a lower cost product if I can trade off this performance aspect of the product. And I'm going, well, this actual performance aspect, which is common on a lot of similar products out there, in fact, it's generically common. I guess that's the definition of the word common, right? Generic.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, where did that requirement come from? Does anyone actually use that?
Right.
And it turns out probably not. It comes from like a real old school requirement, and the game has changed since then. Yet all companies that make these devices, they've all just carried this sort of spec over.
Now everybody's trying to guess what you're making.
It's just the way it's always been done.
That's what we're all doing right now.
Yeah.
What is Dave making?
My supporters know all about this.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah. And they've had some input on it. And they're saying they came to the same conclusion I did, that it's probably not that big a deal. It's like I've never really needed this requirement. So,
Right, I think in that case,
sacrifice the performance for the price. It's fine.
Right, and it's as long as it becomes like some of that becomes a PR thing. I think it's because if people are just like, well, it doesn't have a blank, and then you have to be like, well,
it doesn't have that performance.
Okay, but you don't need it, and then you have to prove that, and then it all becomes about that. Where instead it's like you have to just be like, but it has all these other things that you really care about, and that's
that's it. That's it. Yeah, it all comes down to marketing, like that stupid battery thing.
Yeah.
Debunked.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And there's another now I'm getting inundated with requests to debunk everything now that I've done another debunking video. So it's like another one,
Dave wants to bunk
powering things from
folks.
Wi-Fi is back.
He wants to bunk things, not debunk them. Yeah, I did see this, the Wi-Fi thing, and there was a...
Yeah, the Wi-Fi charge. Whoop-de-doo, I've done a video on it like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, it works, but no, it's just stupid. You're never going to be able to charge your phone from it. So just, stop repeating it, media people.
Yeah, there was a Wired article from a physicist about that as well, from Rhett Elaine. Oh.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
What, somebody's
Wi-Fi...
calling it?
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, it was basically he's a physicist that writes for Wired a bunch, and it says Wi-Fi charging works, but you can't really power your phone. Basically, the same thing that we already knew.
Right. Okay.
And as soon as I saw that the article, I mean, so basically, if people don't know, it was basically saying, oh well, we used the Wi-Fi and across a significant distance, we were able to power.
Well, it was 4 feet or something. It was
significant distance, right? I mean,
okay, it's
you're not going to charge your phone. You're not. It's not like it's on a pad right next to it. And
no, that's right.
And they said, well, we were able to power a device that was a camera.
A camera that took one photo every 35 minutes.
Right, exactly.
Or something, half an hour or something.
And then people know that. Yep. I mean, people know if you've worked on that stuff before, it's like, okay, well, they charged a cap for that long. And then they did a very low power process, probably non-mechanical. It was just a capture on a CMOS sensor, and
working at 32 kilohertz or something, and then as soon as it's processed at 32 kilohertz, boom, they transmit it. Yeah,
and it's like, okay, cool.
And then they wait another 30 minutes for the cap to recharge.
Right, and so it's a constraint thing again, fine. Right? It's constraints of totally. Do you need to charge something, or do you need to take a picture every 30 minutes? It's like,
and then the secret sauce is that they couldn't do that with normal Wi-Fi. You can't just go up to any Wi-Fi router. They have to get a special Wi-Fi router that had special firmware that was modified to always continuously transmit at the full 1 watt power.
Oh, really?
Oh, that was the secret sauce that made this possible. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So, but people forget the details when they read the big ass headline that, you can power all your gadgets. Goodbye wires. They're all gone. Power your gadgets from bloody wireless signal. Reminds me of that stupid ultrasound
No, nope,
You know,
nope. Not talking about that thing.
man, haven't heard from that, have we?
I don't care. I don't care.
Oh man. Yep. No, and the media just run with these stupid headlines. That's what this chip, this batterizer thing.
Yep.
Everyone, 8 times, 8 times increase in your alkaline batteries because you whack this boost converter on there. Oh, fucking.
Yeah.
Jeez, anyone with any rudimentary electronics knowledge and that of battery capacity, just like within seconds can instantly go bullshit. It's not right. Like without even doing the numbers, it instantly just goes into your head bullshit.
Right.
And sure enough, you go do the numbers. Yep, bullshit. Like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man, it's just Anyway, I'll be buying one. I seriously, I'll be buying one. Because
that's the burden. Now you got to keep buying all these bogus devices, huh? Just sitting around.
Right. Well, no, it does a job, right? It's just not even like an order of magnitude as efficient as they claim, right? So, but they've got some interesting miniaturization tech in there which I want to check out. So, Yep. Let that be a lesson to you. Just like market on your they still would have had a successful campaign. They still will have a successful campaign.
I don't know, man.
If they just told the truth.
I don't know if they would.
I think they would.
I don't know. I think that a lot of this stuff, some of this is driven by the fact that it is hard to get noticed for even things that are impressive, right? But
right,
I'm sure that some of that drives it.
You put it on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and it just goes gangbusters because there's people on Indiegogo on Kickstarter that just hand over their money for anything.
That is wrong. I do not agree with that. Did you track how many people on your Kickstarter came from your audience versus elsewhere?
No, but mine was such a ridiculously niche product. It's not general. This is general public stuff, and it's only a couple of bucks, right? That's the thing. The price point is too compelling. People don't give a shit. They'll just, a couple of bucks, right?
I don't know if I agree with that, man. I just
no. It's going to be a total no. When you've got mass market appeal, a ridiculously low price, and promises of the world.
Yeah, but that can make the difference between
Yeah, but I'm saying they've still got 2 out of 3, even if they don't promise the world, right? They've still got the mass market appeal and the dream of getting something for nothing, right? And the low buy-in price. It's still going to be a winner, even if they didn't claim 8 times.
I guess so.
I bet you.
I don't know. I don't. I think that
who agrees with Miss here? Who agrees with me? Who agrees with Chris? Yeah. Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right.
That always works out well.
Getting our audience to interact.
Right.
They probably aren't even listening to this on a computer,
A what? You mean
where they can instantly
computer?
go, I'm going on there, I'm going to leave a comment. Oh, Dave's a dickhead. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Have a mobile.
I'm a
mobile
Chris
friendly
fanboy.
site. We have a mobile friendly site.
Right.
Vote now, folks.
Hopefully, I'll have a mobile friendly site too. I'm working on a new website, or somebody else is for me.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully, I'll get a revamped website.
Very cool.
Eventually.
Yeah. All that software stuff. It's tough. It continues to be tough. Yeah. I don't know. Did you see this? Speaking of software, everybody's kind of trying to get in on it right now, of being the OS for Internet of Things devices.
No, God, no.
Right. Well.
The show's just gone down.
No, I mean, I think this is legit though. So this was, Google had their I/O event, and Apple's talked about this stuff too, right? If Apple just did, open source their Swift project and all these other things. And I think the thing that's interesting to me is that so I was watching this and I forget what they're calling it. There's some name for it. Brillo. Ugh, what a terrible name. Brillo. And basically, they're talking about, everything you have is going to be running this OS, and it'll talk to Weave and all these blah, blah, blah. But what I wonder about is, in the future, all these low-level devices at this point they're saying that everything needs to have an OS on it and be running like a high level stack.
Right.
And I don't think that's the case. I mean, like how like all of the pictures they're showing, at least none of them are battery powered, and I don't get how the battery powered stuff will work. It's not like batteries are getting better, and so everybody wants to be in this space, right? Google wants to, they want Android type things on every device. Apple wants to be, on the watch and everywhere else too, but like the battery life sucks, and I don't understand. No one's doing anything about it. They're just like, well, it'll just work. It'll just, we're the biggest. You have to,
right.
and I don't get how that's going to, I would love to hear from people on how they think it's going to work. But as far as I see it, low level C programming, everything else is still, for battery sensitive devices, you still need to be able to shut down and have low power processes and stuff like that. And I don't think running, low level Android on everything is the future. Maybe.
No, it's, well, yeah, like people what you're saying, people aren't optimizing their processing platforms anymore. They're just throwing in the generic OS because that's the easiest thing to do, and it's the shortest development cycle. Blah blah blah.
Well, I think that would be a reason they do that, but I think that's what Google wants, and that's what all these people want. Everybody wants to be the platform.
Yeah,
but I don't see how that's going to work from a practical perspective, right?
No, like you're not going to running Android on a watch is just freaking stupid, Like it's just any high level, who wants a day's battery life on their watch? It's just stupid.
Well, some people do,
right? Who even wants 7 days? Like, no, they're idiots.
Some people do. They'd love to tell you all about it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm going to develop a smartwatch. It gets 10 years battery life. And the smartest thing it does is tell the frickin' time.
Yeah. Yes, Dave is indeed old.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yep. I can get a scientific calculator watch that gets 10 years battery life. Not a problem.
Is that yours? Yours gets 10 years battery life?
Yeah.
Really?
I could get 10 years battery life.
Really?
Out of a calculator watch? Yeah, if I really wanted to, yeah. Of course I could.
Doing what?
Telling the time and doing calculations occasionally.
You just mean like going into sleep modes and stuff like that, and because it's almost always off.
Yeah, exactly. It's it wakes up once per second and whoop. Updates the screen, It's not rocket science.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem, I guess, is that everything wants to be like awake all the time. Well, not all the time, but it has to always be like, wake up. Is there a message for me? Go back to sleep. Wake up. Is there a message? And even that is still pretty power intensive, right? Even on Bluetooth Low Energy, that's still,
Yeah, because you're putting bloody RF links and everything else in there.
Right.
Goodness gracious.
What you need to do is run a wire from your phone to your watch.
Right,
you could pass power. You could pass a serial signal. You should just have like the Apple wire implant that goes from your leg up to your arm. Anyways.
I want off this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you got a little while on that one as well. Oh, but that's what I meant to tell you. I said at the beginning of the show that I have something to tell you. I get to go towards SpaceX tomorrow.
Bastard.
I'm excited. So I will report back.
How did you score that? Who'd you have to sleep with?
No one. One of the listeners of the show actually gave me a shout and offered a tour. And then one of my former coworkers also works there. So I didn't realize there's 4,000 people working there. It's nuts.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't think it was that many.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I am in California right now. If people didn't understand that.
I'd love to see a breakdown data on those 4,000 people. How many working on what?
Yeah.
Love to see a breakdown.
I don't think they're going to give that to me.
Right.
But yeah.
They got 4 people sweeping floors. They got 40 who work in the canteen to feed the 4,000. They've got,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know, man. Well, and a lot of it's just, they're just manufacturing, right? I mean, I don't know if you saw, there was a tour that they had on YouTube a while back, but it's just like... So
they do everything in the one location. They manufacture, design,
they do a lot.
Do the whole works?
It's very, very vertically integrated type stuff. A lot of machining, a lot of electronics assembly, stuff like that. So It'll be. I mean, I'm only going to see probably the stuff on the floor, but that's more than enough. I mean,
interesting to see if they've got this. So they do their own in-house boards, do they?
I think so.
Completely in-house pick and place and all that sort of jazz. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's always, it's usually a mix, that kind of thing. So we'll see. I'm very lucky to have people that offer me these things, so I appreciate it. If anyone else wants to give you a tour of an awesome place, I will be happy to do so.
Sure, I'd be getting those offers too, except I'm not in the US, so they don't bother.
Yeah, right. Right. If you want to give Dave a tour, just give me a call and I'll go the tour for him. I'll tell him all about it on the show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem, man. You got the kids to think of. I gotta get this in while I can. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. There was also an article about the fact that I didn't realize that Google bought a part of SpaceX as well. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So they're going to be building. So they said 10% of SpaceX was sold to Google and Fidelity.
Okay.
But basically,
why? Why would they sell 10%?
Because they want the money to make satellites for building internet access. So basically, they're going to try and become an internet provider from space. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know. I don't get it, but but if I can get a better, I'm not on Wi-Fi right now because the Wi-Fi's here is so terrible. I'm on a cell network right now actually, and so we're recording this.
Have you got an unlimited data plan? Because even audio chews some bandwidth.
If I cut out, you'll know what happened.
No, you'll just end up with a bill for the phone companies will never cut you off.
No, they do.
Just send you a big ass bill.
I do prepaid, buddy. Don't.
Right, okay.
I'm not an idiot. I know how I work. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously I don't have any details about any of this stuff. I'm just going to see rockets, but.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what's happening. SpaceX and big. I mean, because the other thing is I don't know about you. Like, do you ever watch machining videos on YouTube or anything like that?
No.
Like some of them.
I'm not sad like you.
It's not sad, man. It's so
sitting there. Oh, look at that spindle.
Dude, it's so man, awesome. It's like it's like watching I don't even know But just
porn.
Yeah. I mean, it is like mechanical porn, but it's like watching a transfer. It's like watching magic. I mean, it's like transforming from one thing to another. It's like, or like art, right? It's like watching someone sculpt something. It's just like from amorphous shape to thing that's useful and beautiful, right? Maybe art isn't necessarily useful, but it's beautiful, and it's just like it's artwork. It's just getting to see that happen is so awesome, especially at high speed, right? So watching the Moriseikis and 5-axis machines and stuff like that, and it's just it's like a symphony of motion and so yeah, highly recommend if you're bored or if you like machining. There's tons of good videos on YouTube for there was one
dude. If you get excited over that, just wait until the point where you can actually pull a live human out of another human. I
guess so.
Pretty cool. Been there, done that twice.
I'm sure it's beautiful. Blah 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 blah. But
I'm sending a snippet of that to your wife.
No thanks.
No.
So, what else do we have to talk about on here?
Nothing. We're done.
We're not done. Come on.
We're done.
No.
We might be able to keep it to an hour for a change.
I have 2 things that I wanted to bring up then. 3 things I wanted to bring up then. There has been some
because I groaned. You went from 2 to 3.
Yeah, that's right. That's your punishment.
I'll piss this guy off.
So first off, there was a great interview with Paul Horowitz, The Art of Electronics. I really enjoyed that. Some people didn't like it, but I really liked it. Just watching Paul interact was he looks like the friendliest guy ever. He's just so bouncy.
Oh, you're talking about the Art of Fruit one.
More.
There's also a text interview on Element 14 as well.
Right, exactly. And it's just it's awesome. It's like watching your heroes. It's great. And okay, that was one. Where was the next one? Oh, they announced the Open Hardware Summit. That will be in Philadelphia on 7/19. I think I posted that.
Are you going? Because you've been the last couple of years, haven't you?
I have. I don't know if I'll be going. I posted this wrong, so I posted it as 7/19. It's actually 9/19, September 19th in Philadelphia. I might go just because I have family out there.
Okay.
So, and I think that probably lines. No, it's on a Saturday. I was gonna say it probably lines up with Maker Faire in New York, but that doesn't actually make sense. So, so Philadelphia in September. So that's cool. And then the last thing is we have the black Amp Hour t-shirts for sale once again. The Teespring thing.
Sweet.
Flipped over. So if you want that, I think you could still get that solder jockey. I know a lot of people named Dave didn't like it.
Solder jockey. No, thanks.
No, you're not going to get it. Yeah, so that one's... Oh, it's available till tomorrow, so probably not the case. So... So, yeah. Yeah, so... but the black Amp Hour t-shirt is available, and it's posted on the website, so you can see that.
Got it. Sweet. Is that all?
I mean, I can keep going, man, if you want to keep going. Oh, I'm also going to be at really. Solid in 2 weeks, giving a talk on data and finding parts and stuff like that. So if people are going to be there, look me up, say hi.
Woohoo!
I'll be there. I'll have a booth as well, so it's easy to find me. Should be a good conference.
Once again, prizes for the most forlorn, pathetic look of a photo of Chris Gamble
this
possible
is
at a trade show.
Yeah,
booth.
It's an interesting conference though, because it's a really cool mix of people. So I usually get pretty excited about this because it's just people I never would meet otherwise.
Right.
Artists and software people and stuff like that, hardware people. So all right, yeah, I guess I'll talk to you next week.
Now we're done. What show are we? We're almost up to our 255th, aren't we?
I don't know. I should probably figure that out.
We're like in the 250s somewhere, I think.
This is 253 we're on right now.
Oh, jeez. Almost going to flip a bit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. And in August, we're at the 5-year mark. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
That's scary. Yeah. So when are you coming out here?
Maybe this...
Because I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, maybe in the winter. I don't know. Probably when it's crappy weather here. Oh, sometime.
Right.
Sometime soon.
Right. So summer. So in another 6 months, I'll see you here.
Yeah. When is the low spider season?
There is no low spider season.
Oh, I just remembered I can't make it. I can't make it. All right, man. Talk to you next week.
See ya.